Right now at 6, abortion services return to Wisconsin. The CEO of Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin says it's the first step in expanding access to daycare, and a plan is made to keep the Brewers. Lawmakers announced a $700 million plan will keep the team in Milwaukee for another 27 years.
We're watching WKBT Lacrosse. This is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us for News 8 Now at 6. I'm Jeremy Wall. Ken has the night off. An Altoona man has been convicted of numerous child sex crimes in Monroe County Court today. A jury convicted 44-year-old Eric Worth of 8 charges after a 3-day trial. According to the Monroe County DA, the charges stem from incidents between May 2017 and July 2021. Worth had other counts dismissed, but the DA says those charges could be refiled in another jurisdiction. A sentencing date has not been set. Worth faces over 150 years in prison, according to the DA. Planned Parenthood is resuming abortion services in Madison and Milwaukee today. The decision was made last week after rulings in a Dane County courtroom confirmed that the 1849 law is not enforceable and that consensual abortions are legal in the state. The president and CEO of Planned Parenthood Wisconsin says appointments for today filled within 24 hours. They will operate these services under the state's pre-Dobbs decision restrictions. That means abortions banned at 20 weeks. Women are required to undergo an ultrasound before an abortion, as well as a counseling session and a 24-hour waiting period. CEO Tanya Atkinson says the goal for now is expanding reproductive health care services.
Resuming care today is a first step to both protecting and expanding access to care. When we resume care today, it's under all of the egregious restrictions that Wisconsin has on the books.
Pro-life supporters were outside the Planned Parenthood clinic all day. They say they will be outside tomorrow as well. Atkinson says they do have plans in place to protect their patients. State legislators announced they have reached a stadium deal with the Brewers to keep the team in the city until 2050. The plan breaks down like this. $400 million would come from state funds. That money would be raised in part by income taxes on Brewers players, visiting teams, and front office staff. $200 million would come from Milwaukee County and the city of Milwaukee. The Brewers themselves would pitch in the final $100 million. That's $700 million spread out over 27 years, committing the team to stay in Milwaukee until 2050. Because the state owns American Family Field, Assembly Speaker Robin Vos said that Wisconsin would be on the hook for the building no matter what, and that if the Brewers have decided to leave, something lawmakers say could happen as soon as next year due to lack of funds, would only hurt the local and state government.
It is a better deal for the taxpayer. Whether you ever come to a Brewer game or you ever come to a concert at this venue, it is definitely better for the taxpayer to have revenue being generated here to keep the team and all the economic benefits than it would be to have them leave.
One of the major upgrades in this plan would be to winterize the stadium to make it usable year-round for concerts and other events. With an ironclad agreement by the Brewers to stay until 2050 from the Brewers lawmakers, also expect more development to pop up around the ballpark.
Well, a good Monday evening to you. A nice day across the region with temperatures in the 70s, fairly close to our average highs this time of year. 77 was a common number out at the La Crosse Airport, Black River Falls, Winona, Preston, Boscobel, and Prairie du Chien. 76 for you folks in Eau Claire. So that 77 was 2 degrees above average, and we are right even Steven for the month. 8 of the days have been below average for that high. 8 above and 2, including yesterday, right on average. Kind of a neat time lapse from early this morning. A little bit of fog scattered about, but that quickly mixed out by about 9 or 10 o'clock this morning. Otherwise, sunny to partly cloudy skies through the day. Now, radar is picking up a few light returns up the river west of Eau Claire. Some of this may be reaching the ground. Most of this is not, as the air is very dry. Current temperature still in the lower to middle 70s, so very pleasant September evening. Again, that chance for some showers and thunderstorms overnight as a disturbance kind of ramps up those rain chances, especially in our southern communities. Lows in La Crosse around 59 degrees. I will have the rest of this week's work forecast. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Bill. Finding childcare for people who work at Gunderson Health System just got easier. Gunderson and BARC have teamed up to provide 30 childcare spots for Gunderson families at BARC's recently opened preschool childcare center. In return, Gunderson has committed to giving BARC some financial support for the next 3 years. The partnership, though, has allowed BARC to increase pay for their childcare workers. But the program only helps Gunderson families. However, Gunderson's president says she hopes other community groups are inspired by the partnership.
This isn't going to solve the community issue with daycare, but it's one step in the right direction. And I think if it shows anything to other community members and community businesses, just take a step in the right direction, and it just will slowly start chipping away at that iceberg that we're all trying to work at.
Gunderson already has a child care center for their employees that serves 64 kids, but Shimmers says there's over 200 kids on the wait list to join that center. Accessing child care has become a growing issue in the state. The Center for American Progress has found that 54% of Wisconsinites live in an area where demand for child care far outpaces its availability. On Wednesday, the Wisconsin legislature will hold a special session to address child care funding. Honoring our veterans, Western Technical College held a ceremony today to honor prisoners of war and those missing in action on POW MIA Recognition Day. The ceremony was held on campus at the POW MIA Memorial. That memorial is the only of its kind here in Wisconsin. WTC President Roger Stanford says the memorial is important because it helps people understand what it takes to keep America safe.
So just understanding to be a citizen in our country, what it takes to get and keep our freedoms. That's why our memorial says freedom is not free.
There are over 81,000 Americans currently unaccounted for from wars dating back to World War II. Half of that number are presumed lost at sea. If you would like to visit the POW MIA Memorial, it is located next to the Lunda Center. Well, Hispanic Heritage Month is here and celebrates the contributions and influence of Hispanic Americans to the history, culture, and achievements of the United States. This morning, UW La Crosse celebrated the holiday with a lecture by history professor Victor Gonzalez. The lecture focused on the influence of Latinos in Wisconsin beginning as far back as the 1760s. Gonzalez says it's important for today's youth to understand history because it can bring a sense of belonging.
It's important for folks to know about this and many other parts of history because history helps us build our identity and helps us build our sense of belonging.
Hispanic Heritage Month runs until October 15th. La Crosse has multiple events throughout the month to celebrate. We'll have a link with more information on our website, news8000.com. Coming up, the UAW strike reaches day 4, and one of the car manufacturers is blaming recent layoffs on the strike.
Run forward and give back at the YMCA Maple Leaf Walk Run presented by Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Join us in person or virtual with a 5K, 5-mile, half marathon, and kids fun run, an event for everyone. Register at laxymca.org.
At Taco John's, we never judge a book by its cover. But if the cover is a one-of-a-kind flatbread coated in aged cheddar, crispy shredded potatoes, and our signature potato Olay seasoning, we say judge the shell out of it. New Cheddar Crunch Tacos, only at Taco John's.
Hey, Nick. Like usual?
Yeah, please.
How's your day going? Pretty good. Air conditioning went out at the house, and I got some guys coming over to fix it.
Nothing that G&T can't take your mind off of, right?
Oh, absolutely, man. I can always depend on GNC to put my mind at ease.
Especially when I make them, eh?
Well, I'm talking about GNC heating and air conditioning. They have never let me down.
G&T, the best heating and air conditioning guaranteed.
Maybe I should switch to G&T.
Windows are a lot like car tires. They all look the same, but they definitely don't all perform the same.
Take our StarMark composite window, available exclusively at Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions.
This window is 12 times stronger than vinyl, 2,000% more airtight, and 40% more energy efficient. All at a price less than what many companies charge for vinyl windows. Don't settle on your new windows. Insist on the best windows you can buy. Receive up to 25% off your new windows with our Cooperative Savings Plan.
To all you so-called drive-thru contenders out there, Taco John's is coming for the breakfast belt. With the boldest, cheesiest, baconiest, potato-ole-iest breakfast burritos ever, we're not pulling any punches. The new breakfast champ is here. Try a bigger, bolder breakfast at Taco John's.
Run forward and give back at the YMCA Maple Leaf Walk Run presented by Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning. Join us in person or virtual with a 5K, 5-mile, half marathon, and kids fun run, an event for everyone. Register at laxymca.org.
Today marks day 4 of the United Auto Workers strike against the big 3 U.S. car manufacturers. There was some progress over the weekend, but the companies still have not matched the UAW's demands for a 20% wage increase, among other things. The UAW says the walkout could expand this week as negotiations continue. Ford is now blaming 600 new layoffs on the strike. Chris Van Cleef has the latest from Wayne, Michigan.
It is a fight to take on corporate greed.
A weekend of Democratic heavy hitters rallying striking auto workers. Nearly 13,000 in Michigan, Missouri, and Ohio walked off the job Friday, halting production of popular SUVs like the Ford Bronco and Jeep Wrangler.
Our members are fed up.
United Auto Workers President Shawn Fain says some progress was made when talks resumed with Ford and General Motors this weekend.
We have a lot of work to do, when it comes to wages, when it comes to retirement security.
Do you feel like you're finding some places of agreement?
We're finding common ground on some things, but we still have ways to go.
The union is currently seeking at least a 36% raise, cost of living, and job protections, as well as an unwinding of concessions made during the Great Recession when the companies created a tiered paid scale, starting some employees at under $17 an hour, while others make nearly double for the same work.
The way they're treating the new hires coming in just isn't right.
The union rejected automakers' offers centered around a 20% raise. GM CEO Mary Barra on CBS Mornings Friday.
We're at the table now, ready to keep going and get this resolved as quickly as possible.
At Tony M's in Lansing, Michigan, auto workers account for up to 40% of the restaurant's business. Owner Tamara Farrell worries without a deal, the strike could expand to the auto plant literally down the street.
It's going to be tight, and I think it'll affect my employees first. We'll have to cut back on hours so everybody can make it.
A lot of people holding their breath. Now, the workers that have walked off the job, they receive $500 a week in strike pay. And while they are targeting plants that make popular trucks and SUVs, experts say because of existing inventory, it will be several weeks before consumers see any impact on dealer lots. Chris Van Cleef, CBS News, Wayne, Michigan.
Still ahead, you're going to want to catch these big new art exhibits. The Marine Art Museum in Minnesota opened 3 new exhibits under the theme, The Big Catch.
And I'm meteorologist Bill Grahl, tracking a little disturbance over Minnesota that'll bring at least a slight chance for showers to parts of the area tonight. I'll have the details after the break.
At Stanton Optical, you can stop waiting forever for an appointment. Same-day eye exams and walk-ins are always available. I wish other things would happen as fast. Get 2 pairs of free eye exam and anti-glare lenses for only $79.
Save on your next staining project with 11% off everything at Menards. Varathane is a proven formula that's sure to amaze and is ideal for all interior wood projects from floors to furniture. Get a 1-quart can of premium wood stain for $10.99 after rebate, with resistance to stains, wear, and scratching, and a drying time faster than other oil-based polyurethane. This premium oil-based polyurethane is now $13.96 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
I'm going to say something I want you to think about. Wealthy people ask, how much? People who struggle with their money ask, how much a month? If you're borrowing for everything you purchase, you're buying everything on time, this can lead to a life of financial mediocrity. I think you deserve much better than that. If you'd like to learn more, give me a call at Firefighters Credit Union.
Everybody's welcome at Firefighters Credit Union.
It's Ford SUV season. Time to gear up for adventure, on or off-road. Get great deals on our capable lineup of Ford SUVs, including Ford Explorer, Ford Bronco Sport, and Ford Edge, all designed with technology to give you confidence on the road. Hurry in to your local Ford dealer. SUV season will end soon. Now, get 2.9% financing for 66 months, plus $1,500 FlexBuy cash on select Ford SUVs. Only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
We saw a need and an opportunity within our community to help people purchase their first home. With Thrivent's financial guidance, it helped me to start a company to help people build generational wealth through home ownership. I never would have been able to achieve the financial goals that I wanted and been able to help people the way that I have without my financial advisor from Thrivent.
Welcome to Too Good to Guess. Can you guess how much 2 pairs of Progressives, a free eye exam, and anti-glare lens upgrade will cost at Stanton Optical? Only $135? Wow, a deal so good, every customer wins. Book your eye exam at Stanton Optical today.
Expect more from News 8 Now. Thanks for watching.
Museum goers at a Minnesota art museum will notice some new exhibits. This week in the Minnesota Marine Art Museum opened 3 new exhibits. Each one is under the theme of The Big Catch. The paintings were created by Dwight Wang, Christina Brevik, and Kimball A. Bromley. One of the exhibits is focused on raising awareness for climate change. Others are focusing on whaling and emotions from Moby Dick. Director of Communications Caitlin Crouchett says how the art pieces are creative.
It's a really interesting way to see creatures up close that you would never get to see in real life because they are lifelike prints of the actual creatures. So you get to see expressiveness and fish and squid and octopus in a way that you'd never get to see that close up.
Just like the other exhibitions at the museum, The Big Catch shows how water impacts marine life, animals, and plants. All right, let's send it over to Bill with a check of the forecast. Bill.
I'm tracking a little disturbance that could bring some rain showers to parts of the area tonight. Before we get to that, let's start with the allergy report for tonight and tomorrow. High symptoms across the board for weeds, ragweed, and mold spores. Partly sunny sky over downtown La Crosse right now. Temperatures today topping out at 77 for the high, 48 the low, so slightly below or above average, I should say. Average high is 75, but that morning low of 48, a little bit below average. Rain continues to be a problem, although some of you did see some decent rain on Saturday, but only 0.15 out at the La Crosse airport. So we are approaching 2 inches below average for the month out at the airport and 6.73 inches below average for the year. 74 with a partly sunny sky at the airport, still 75 downtown at the station. Winds out of the southeast at 5 to 10. The Mississippi just under 5 feet, but rising a little bit. 74 with a mostly cloudy sky for you folks in Eau Claire. South winds at around 10. Now there is some heat building to our west, and we're going to eventually tap into some of this by the middle of the week. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm looking at highs in the 80s here in the Cross. Now current temperatures in the lower to middle 70s, so temperature-wise, a pleasant evening underway. Winds out of the southeast at 5 to 15. The air is rather dry. Dew points in the 40s to near 50, and that is coming into play play with this little line of showers and sprinkles. Most of these are fizzling or not reaching the ground. Maybe some spits and sprinkles impacting Eau Claire in the next hour, but those are weakening as well with a better chance of rain north and east of the Twin Cities. Now, an area of low pressure over southwestern Minnesota will track by just to our south and kind of enhance a little bit of a shower and thunderstorm chance later tonight and into early tomorrow. Sky Tracker will show that nicely. Again, those spits and sprinkles to the north early on, but there's the shower and thunderstorm activity I'm talking about towards midnight over northeastern Iowa, and then maybe impacting especially areas along and south of Interstate 90 after midnight and into early tomorrow morning before most of the activity kind of dissipates or tracks off to the south and east. Most of tomorrow is looking dry. Tomorrow night and Wednesday looking dry as well. Maybe some patchy fog late tomorrow night. Partly cloudy sky on Wednesday with warmer temperatures thanks in part to those southerly winds increasing. Zone forecast showing highs tomorrow, mid-70s. It's pretty close to average for this time of year. In fact, most spots will see highs between about 70 and maybe 77 or 78 degrees in our far western communities where that warmer air will start to really filter in on Wednesday. So for tonight, becoming mostly cloudy, that chance for some showers and a few thunderstorms. Best chance is south, 59 in La Crosse. Slight chance of a shower early on tomorrow, especially south. Otherwise, mostly to partly cloudy, 76. And then lower to middle 80s for highs Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Small chance for a thundershower later Friday. Better chance heading into the weekend, especially on Saturday as we welcome in astronomical fall. I know it's kind of bad timing with the weekend, but man, we really need the rainfall no matter what day it falls on. Cooler to start next week. Highs in the upper 60s to lower 70s with some low-end rain chances. But a pretty warm end to astronomical summer as the week progresses.
Bill, I'll take it. You know me, I love those 80s. Thank you so much. Coming up in sports, the Brewers and the Twins both have their eyes on a division title. Plus, the Packers let their second straight win slip away on Sunday. Green Bay suffering its first loss of the season in Atlanta. Rob has a recap next in sports.
The Board Store Home Improvements. Everyday low prices on bathroom remodels for seniors and families. Contact us today for a prompt free estimate.
Experienced sales consultants are good listeners who sell people what they need, not what's on sale. They're easy to work with and value a trusting relationship. We know team members with these life skills earn lifelong customers. Dahl Auto, simple.
I'd never been involved in any kind of personal injury or anything before, but somehow I just knew that Schwebel, Getz, and Sieben, they were going to get the best for me, and they did.
The medical bills pour in really quickly, but when someone like Jim Schwebel steps in and tells you they're going to take care of everything, it's such a huge relief. It's almost indescribable.
Representing accident victims for over 40 years, Schwebel, Getz, and Sieben.
Southern fried food legends include Hush Puppies, fish, and fries. So Arby's made a $5 Hush Puppy breaded fish basket. A legend made a legend of legends. Arby's, we have the meat.
We've got you. It's a pledge to make sure you're always taken care of. A pledge that your Touchstone Energy Cooperative honors each and every day. When it comes to keeping things running smoothly or getting them back on track when they're not, we've got you. Always. Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, your source for power and information.
This adorable shelter pet wants to meet you and your family today. The News 8 Now Pet of the Week is brought to you by Wisconsin Veterinary Orthopedics.
In every department at Dahl Auto, you'll find people who've been in the industry for decades. In over 100 years at Dahl Auto, we've learned to value experience. After working with our team, you'll value our experience too. Dahl Auto, simple.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now's Rob Schiff.
For the first 3 quarters on Sunday, it looked like the Packers were well on their way to their second straight win to open up the regular season, but it all came crashing down over the final 12 minutes. The final minute of the third saw the Green and Gold extend their lead to 12. Jordan Love finding rookie Jaden Reed for his second touchdown of the afternoon, but that put Green Bay up 24-12 but the final frame, all Falcons, Desmond Ridder, QB keeper, he takes it in for the 6-yard score. Atlanta right back in this one, and then with a minute to go, Falcons looking for the lead, and there it goes. Packers give up 13 unanswered in the fourth as Green Bay falls to 1-1 on the season.
Me looking back just off memory, not even watching the tape, I know there's a couple opportunities I personally wish I had back, for sure. So, I think being in as close as we were right there, I think, we can all learn from this.
Sometimes this is how the game goes, and, in the NFL, and, you just got to learn how to bounce back. Don't let it affect you until the next week. So we got to, watch it, be critical with the film, and then, correct it and come back harder next week.
Packers will get that chance in front of their home fans for the first time this season as Green Bay gets set for its home opener Sunday at noon against the Saints. Shifting gears over to the high school football field, we're just 4 days away from week 6 of the Wisconsin high school football season, and this is a night we've had circled on our calendars for months. One of the biggest rivalries in our area, Cashton, Bangor. Always special when these two rivals go head-to-head, especially when both programs are playing lights-out football. Cardinals and Eagles both come into week 6 undefeated, so conference title implications could very well be at stake Friday night in Bangor. Now, this one could be just as special in the Cooley Conference. The Blue Golds are reigning back-to-back state champs, but so far, Westby looks like the best team in the conference. Norseman will look to prove it on Friday. In the MVC, Central is at home hosting Toma. And in the Dairyland Conference, Pep and Alma will look to stay undefeated as the Eagles take on Blair Taylor. On the diamond now, Brewers coming down the final stretch here as the regular season comes to a close. Just 13 games left for the crew. They're sitting pretty comfy in first place. Milwaukee with a 6.5-game lead over Chicago in the NL Central. Brewers had their 3-game win streak snapped yesterday, but the crew is back in action tonight in St. Louis to begin a 4-game set with the rival Cardinals. First pitch in about 20 minutes. As for the AL Central, it was a pretty productive weekend for Minnesota. The Twins taking 3 out of 4 in Chicago against the White Sox, including a 4-0 shutout win on Sunday in the series finale. Just 12 games left for Minnesota in the regular season. The next 3 will be in Cincy as the Twins inch closer and closer to that division title. That's going to do it for sports. We'll be right back.
With a tankless system, you can have unlimited hot water whenever and for however long you need it. Upgrade to a tankless today and never be left without hot water again. Rely on Maxwell White, plumbing done right.
Yes, can I help you? Nicolay? I've been doing this since Jimmy Carter was president in the 1980s. No, you don't need Nicolay. I can do it.
Oh, man. If they want the real Nicolay, they should get the real Nicolay. Thank you. Russell Nicolay here. Yep, we can help.
In a world full of choices, make sure you get the real Nicolay.
It's all right. It's okay. I understand. No big deal. No big deal.
The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here and ready to help. Anyone in Wisconsin can call, text, or chat to get connected to a trained 988 counselor. Trained counselors are here to support anyone experiencing a suicidal, mental health, or substance use crisis. You can also contact 988 if you're concerned about someone. 988 is confidential and free to all Wisconsin residents. 988 24/7. Call, text, chat. Here to support you.
Whether it's a bathroom remodel or comprehensive plumbing services, we at Maxwell White strive to keep our neighbors safe and comfortable in their homes, offering honest, upfront pricing on every service, all backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Call Maxwell White today.
Chance of showers and spots tonight, lows in the 50s, 70s tomorrow, then warmer 80s the rest of the week.
All right, thank you so much, Bill, and thank you so much for tuning into this edition of News 8 Now. We'll see you again at 10.